Planning to move to European Union and thinking about permanent residence and citizenship over here, how long it takes to get the permanent residence, if you are married to a EU national, if you are working as a businessman over here, or you are student and thinking to convert it to work visa, how long it will take you, what exam you require for it, and how difficult it is to get the nationality or permanent residence in European Union. So I'll share you my experience. According to Czech Republic, I live here for almost 15 years. But why some countries are much easier as compared to the others? So I'll explain you why there are more applicants or more accepted applicants. Let's say consider an example of Germany. This is a list of all the approved application of the last years. That means how many applicants applied. These numbers were approved out of it. Let's take an example of Germany. It shows here 200,000 applications were approved. Now France 97,000. Over here is Spain 240,000. And then we have Netherlands 57,000. And we have the Italy also of somewhere around 213,000. This is the highest number of approved application anywhere in the Europe. So that means you have a much better chance to get the passport and the nationality of these countries because the approval rate is quite high. As compared to Czech Republic, where I'll be explaining the process, it takes a long time, and last year there were only 4,400 approved cases and the submitted applications were 10 times more. So it's a very small number as compared to number of applicants. Of course, there are some other countries which has less number of accepted application, but there are not many applicants also there. Let's take an example of Bulgaria or Romania. So as compared to it, Czech Republic, people have a lot of interest to take the citizenship, but they have a very low number of accepted rate. So I'll explain you how the process it is for EU national, non-EU, and for businessman living in Czech Republic, how long it will take you to become a national or a permanent resident. So if you are from a EU country, you will need 3 years and you don't have to pass the exam of Czech language, and you can get a permanent residence if you're permanently living over here, having some kind of a job or a work, so you are eligible to have it here. Also, if you are married to any of the EU national, that means if you are even not from EU country but married to your EU national, then you can have a long-term visa, and after that one in 3 years you can have a permanent residence. That's the fastest way to get the permanent residence in Czech Republic. If you are a non-EU national and you are either a student or working anywhere in a company, so if you are a student, it will take you 10 years. That means a total of half of this time is counted because you need a 5 years of living in Czech Republic. But when you are a student, it counted as half of it. So that means 10 years will be counted only 5. But most of the time people are studying over here and then they start the work. Let's say you studied over here for 6 years. So it will be counted as 3 years. And then plus 2 years you had some job over here or work. Now in total you are eligible for it. So 6 plus 2, in 8 years you will be eligible to apply for the permanent residence. For this one you need to pass the A2 Czech language exam. It's very simple exam for people who are from Slavic backgrounds, but for non-EU peoples, especially coming from Asia or America or from Africa, this A2 also is not an easy exam. You need at least 6 to 8 months of complete concentrated education to get to the A2 level, because in this one you need to have a basic communication. You should be able to make a past, present and future tenses. Grammar is not very important here, but you should be able to understand the basic information in radio channels or any information which comes to you on the phone. Listening ability matters a lot, so try to improve it here and you may get the permanent residence. There is a lot of advantages of permanent residence: insurance, your job market, you are not connected to any job directly. So definitely there is a lot of advantages here of permanent residence in a country. This is the highest rank of any residence permit in Czech Republic or anywhere in the Europe. So definitely if you are living here, permanent residence is a good option. A2 language you need to pass and make your 5 years in total of working in Czech Republic. Or if you are student, then half of that time plus total 5 year it should be. There is a one very complex rule in it. In this total time of 5 years, you should not be out of the country in the last 5 years. You should not be out of the country for 310 days in total. It's very complex to calculate because they are calculating just from this time backward to last 5 years. So if you have 310 years in the last year, that means it will take you again next 4 years to finish this time period problem. If you have this issue, they are not going to give you the permanent residence because you're out of the country. There are some options that if you can prove it, you were there for business, you were there for some medical purpose or some education purpose, then it's possible to play with these 310 days. But many of the people I know get rejected because of this problem, that in total they have 310 days out of the Czech Republic. So you will become a permanent resident because of this, or if you're married or having just living together permanently with any Czech national, then also you are able to get the permanent residence in 3 years. So that's the fastest way you can get it. Now if you're a businessman, usually businessmen get 2 years of visa, so long-term visa in which they can do the business. Like many other countries, Czech Republic does not give a special right or passport or permanent residence just because you are doing the business. You get the visa for 2 years, and in total, if you live over here for 5 years, you are eligible for it. Again, you need to pass the Czech language exam. There is some possibility that if you can show or you can prove to the government that you are like you are important person for the society, it's possible to omit this one. Very rare cases are there, but generally you have to pass this A2 level exam. Now coming to the passport, to the citizenship, which I believe you must be watching this video for. In passport one, you need a total of 10 years if you are a non-EU, but it doesn't matter how you reach to the 10 years. If you are a EU national or married to some Czech person, it's possible you can reach little early, from 7 to 8 years is the fastest you can go. But for 10 years, just keep it in mind that 10 years are the total number of years. It doesn't matter it was student or work, but in end you should make a total of 10 years, and in this 10 years you should, it's a must that you must have a permanent residence. That means if you have the PR and the total time happens over here 10 years, or in special cases 7, 8 years, you are eligible to apply for the Czech passport. But this is just that you are eligible for it. What documents are required is a very tough bureaucratic process in which you need to first of all pass the B1 level exam. Is it easy or not? I think it's hard, especially for the non-Slavic people, because in this one you need to make a direct conversation with the Czech person or your other candidate who is also applying for this one, or you should have a Czech language examination in university or in high school. So if you have B1 or any certificate B1 which shows that you have the education over here, you can go for the Czech citizenship. There is also another one, it's called a Realie exam. It's quite easy exam. There are 300 questions about the Czech culture, history, education and government rules. But you can pass this one because there are 300 known questions. If you memorize them, you can pass this exam. But if you had the education in Czech language, then you don't have to go for B1, you don't have to go for Realie. So 3 years of Czech education in any university or high school, or go for the B1 and the Realie exam. B1 exams are conducted almost 5 or 6 times in 1 year, and there is a lot of applicants for it, especially from Ukraine, and it's hard to find a free place in 1 year. Usually it's around 2 or 3 times you can find it, but you need to prepare it well, and this exam costs somewhere around 150 euros just to go and attempt for the exam. So let's say you pass the exam, you have the Realie or you have the Czech education, and you have a total of 10 years, you are eligible for the passport. Now same is for the businessman, he is over here for 10 years. So 10 years in total, or special cases 7 or 8 years, you are eligible now to apply the passport. So now coming to what documents you need to apply for the citizenship if you are eligible already. So you need to provide a CV, that means about your profile. It's a freehand CV, that means you can write on without any template. So you can explain about yourself, why you are here, what you do over here, what is your previous nationalities, and why we think that you should be a national here. Then There is something about your travel documents. This one shows that in the last 10 years how many travels you did, and was there any travel in which you were out of the country for more than 2 months. So you have to mention each of them. If you don't know the exact date, but at least the month should be mentioned. Then there is a application for it, and then there is a document in which you show all the details about your yourself, your mother, your father, your children, and how much is your salaries, how much money you take. So all about your family as information. This is different than the CV. CV is more about yourself, but in this one it's more about how much money you take and how long you are here, which are your children, where you are married, and what was your previous citizenship. And after this one you will provide 4 or 5 very important documents. This one first of them is from insurance, that you have no money remaining from medical insurance. Second one is from the social department, that you have not taken any advantage from the social department in the last especially 3 years. And then you have it from the Urat Prase, that is the labor office. That means in the last 3 years you haven't taken any help. That means you were not jobless and you were not taking any money from the government. That means you are not depending on some other people money. Then one document from the customs, you don't have any money remaining to pay to them. Then you have to take one document from finance office, and this shows that you are paying the taxes on time, there is nothing remaining. Then one from the city government, that you are paying all the city taxes for rubbish and other taxes for TV, radio. So if you have all these documents, and especially these documents, all of them cannot be more older than 30 days. So you have a limit of 30 days. You will get this document, and when you apply, any of this document cannot be older than 30 days. If you make all this one, then you need from your office document that you have a job, you have a salary. Then you will apply another document that you are paying your pension money. You can also get this one from your office. They can provide you this document. If you are self-employed, then you have to give the document that how much insurance you are paying or not, what is your salary, what is your income, how many workers you have. So self-employed, little more documents are required over here. And after this one you need some reference letter. It can help you because they want to know if you're integrated to the system, to the people. This one helps you in making the decision, because all this one still is not enough. They want to see if you are connected to the society or not. Are you a valuable member of the society? And then it's good to provide any kind of diplomas or degrees or certificate what you have. So all this application is to prove to the person who will be seeing your application that you are eligible for it, you are capable for it, and there is a big advantage for the country and the society to accept you as a national. Generally you are living here for 10 years, you have a house, you have a car, you are not depending on the society, and you have a future in which you can help the society. All these documents are submitted to a very special department. It's called Matrika. This is the same department which do registration of people who are born, who anybody die. So you put application here. They have 30 days to give this application of yours with their opinion to the Ministry of Interior, which makes the decision on it. Then it goes to the ministry, and in ministry they have a total of 180 days to respond to your application. It's possible because they are overly crowded. How I said, they have only accepted ratio of, let's say, 10 or 20%. In this one they don't have enough time or enough people to work on it. So in that case it will be not 180 days. It can take normally from 1.5 to 2 years to get your final approval. So if everything is done, you get your approval, there is an oath ceremony, they give you the documents, and then you are finally considered as a Czech national. So now I hope it makes you understand that in total you need 10 years in which you should have permanent residence. Any of the time in between these 10 years, if you have it, you are eligible for it. Give the exams of language if you don't have the Czech language education, and then prepare all this document within the limit of 30 days and put your application. And I hope you understand it. Is it easy or difficult? I think Czech Republic is one of the hardest one as compared to it. Germany, Spain, Portugal, Italy are much faster, or they have a much higher rate of success, and also in less time you can get it as compared to Czech Republic. Normally in Czech Republic people apply after 12 or 13 years, and yes, you are eligible in 10 years, but till you make all your documents and make yourself ready for it, 12 years normally happen, and then they take 2 years, maybe more, just for the approval. So it's a long process, and definitely they want to be sure that you want to live over here and you want to be a proud national of this country. I hope it answers your question. Thank you for watching.